Who doesn't like applesauce? Well, I've never made it before, but I got a ton of apples now, thanks to a coworker of my wife's. Gave us a ton of apples, probably almost a bushel's worth. So we're going to give it a shot today and try to make some applesauce and can it. Okay, so I got a bunch of apples to peel. So I got my peeler, I got my core, I got 2 gallons worth of water in here with some citric acid to keep the apples from turning brown. The only thing is I don't feel like sitting here for hours just slowly peeling the apples. So we're going to try something a little different here. Something different requires a drill with a spade. So, yes, I originally saw this on YouTube, and I'm giving it a shot now. So, spade in the end. Make sure you don't get yourself if it goes through too easily. And I'm right-handed, so let's flip it around. Let's give this a shot. On way. That was pretty cool. What do you think? So now we have about 15 pounds cut. I think I got a little crazy with it. We're going to boil it for about 15-20 minutes, bring it up to a boil, and hopefully that starts breaking it down. I might use a potato masher or something like that. The directions originally say you're supposed to boil for 15-20 minutes, then put it in a food processor, blend it up, and then put it back in there and just keep it boiling as you fill the jars. I'm going to see if I can skip that step a little bit. Once it gets nice and soft after boiling for 15-20 minutes, maybe I'll grab my potato masher, see if I can break it up so I'm just inside here without splashing and burning myself. It should be interesting. Okay, now we got it at a boil. It's starting to froth up a little bit, and we're going to let it simmer for 20 minutes, and it smells great. It actually, as soon as it hit boil, all the smell came out. It's like, oh yeah, apples. So, even though it's, what, second week of September? 3rd week, something like that. God, I really got my weeks all screwed up. It's not quite fall yet, but yeah, it definitely gives that smell. And it seems to be actually boiling down quite nicely already. So we'll let this go for another 15 minutes and see what happens. In the meantime, I gotta get the jars ready. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. The beeper just went off on the microwave. I had to drain some of the liquid off because the recipe originally said you're only supposed to have enough water in here to keep it from burning on the bottom. I thought I had enough water taken out of it before I put it on the stove, but apparently not. So off this side here, I probably have half a gallon of apple juice. So instead of using a potato masher, I tried, let me see what happens with a whisk. Since it's boiled down so much, it actually works really well. It's actually turning into applesauce just as I do this. All the pieces are very soft. So I'll do this for a few minutes and then we'll get ready to fill the jars up. Okay, I got it all broken down, and I don't know if it's a little watery because it's really hot because it's the first time I've made it, but I think I still have a little too much water in here. But it's a little too late to pull it out now. So, worst comes to worst, I'm going to can it, I'm going to water bath it for 20 minutes, I'm going to let it cool down overnight and see what it looks like tomorrow morning. Worst comes to worst, I got a little bit of a runny applesauce. I know what to do with the second batch because remember, I still got a ton of apples sitting in the cooler. So, this is the first time, the first batch. Let's see what happens. Okay, I got all the jars filled, and the pressure canner turned water bath today is getting close to getting up to a boil. So I have 10 cans of applesauce and 2 left over here of apple juice. So I'll go ahead and start filling this up here and see if I have enough water in there or not. Because I've never used this as a water bath canner yet. Okay, apparently I didn't put enough water into it, so I'm not going to be able to fit the second row. I'm not going to dump cold water into it and reset the whole thing. I'll just let this get up to a full boil, time for 20 minutes, pull it out, and then throw these last 4 jars in there. Okay, they've had a few hours to cool now, so let's see what we got. Didn't exactly turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but here you go. Let's see here. About 2/3 of it is water. See if I can get the right light into it. Let's see here. I think this one shows a little better. Yeah. Top 2/3 is actually applesauce. The bottom third is water. So I definitely still had too much water in it. I'll have to reduce it when I do the second batch. And as for the 2 juices I made, that's actually kind of interesting too. If you look at that, it's actually all liquid on top. And there's like a little bit of a mix down below, but it's really thin. So it'll just be like a chunky apple juice. So that's what came out of it. That's what I learned. I have to use less water when I boil down the apples. Otherwise, it came out great. I did try some of the apple juice that I did not can. I had a little bit left over. Tastes perfectly fine. It's great.